Hi guys. Welcome back to Third Eye Exchange. I put that I was going live at like 4. So we're gonna start officially at 4, but in the couple minutes in between, we'll just get settled. And did I bring my phone? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so gonna get a little video for the gram so my followers know that I am live. But yeah, now we're live. We're officially starting at 4. So everyone on Instagram, subscribe to Third Eye Exchange on YouTube and you can join my live. And we're going to do some journaling and reflections on 2025, talk about the numerology of it, and also go over some themes. Intuitively some messages might come through for like the collective for me, so if they do, I'll talk about them. And also we have a little craft that we're doing if you saw the flyer, so come on down, enjoy your Saturday with us, with me. And yeah, so love you and I hope to see you here. Bye. Live. We're officially starting at 4, so everyone on Instagram, subscribe to Third Eye Exchange on YouTube, and you can join my live. And we're gonna do some journaling. Is anybody else like so fascinated about like what they sound like? Because we don't sound the same to ourselves as we do to other people. So go over some themes. And I think I'm gonna leave everybody the link to my channel so it's easy for them to get. There we go. Some messages might come through for like the collective for me, so if they do, I'll talk about them. And also we have a little craft that we're doing if you saw the flyer, so come on down, enjoy your Saturday with us, with me. And yeah, so love you and I hope. Okay, I feel like I'm on a date, guys. I'm like freshly showered just for you. I know. Is it 4? Okay, we have probably less than a minute. It's 3:59. So I'm gonna make one of my friends come on here and just tell me if they can hear me or not. She'll do it if she's not busy. I'm like paranoid now because, guys, I filmed a beautiful 90-minute video for you last time on the original day, New Year's Eve, and the sound didn't transfer, so it looks like I'm not wearing a shirt. I don't really care for this lighting, truthfully, but I'm not in my house right now, so we gotta work with what we got. Okay, anyway, so welcome back to Third Eye Exchange. If you're new here, my name is Samantha. I am a psychic and Reiki practitioner. I post a lot of pick-a cards and spiritual videos on YouTube for you guys as a way to give back to the community and offer spiritual guidance that may not be accessible otherwise. And one of my main missions for my brand is to break a lot of stigmas that people have around spirituality. Especially I feel like the media has perpetuated a lot of false narratives. Also religion, that's an interesting topic. I can get into it at some point, but yeah, so today what we're gonna do is, hang on, let me pull up my outline because I'm very neurodivergent and I had to write an outline so I didn't forget. Okay. So what else? Okay. So basically, like, I also, by the way, I didn't mention I have a metaphysical boutique and there's some really cute stuff on there. I make homemade Florida waters that are fragrance free and essential oil free. I make cornetto broom charms, which are like the Italian horn. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like in Italy, it's their equivalent of like the evil eye symbol in Greece. So I make charms with that to honor my ancestors from Italy for coming to the US to give us a better life. And what else do I make? Oh, I make cute little sage bundles. I don't have like a full one prepared right now, but we're just knocking this out of the way. So, in a normal one, it would be like 100% organic cotton packaging, like this. A sage bundle. This is sustainably sourced from California. It's white sage. And then I have Palo Santo, also sustainably sourced from Ecuador. The next batch might be from somewhere different because they obviously run out at certain points, so I can't get the original one, but we'll see. I prioritize quality for you guys, so we're gonna get started. I'm actually gonna burn this just to like set the intention for good vibes and anything that needs to come up to the surface for our highest good and to bring in as much love, joy, and prosperity in our new year for us as possible. I don't want to Yeah, I don't wanna light it too much because the dogs are in the other room, so I'm watching these crazy Frenchies. They're so cute, but they're a lot, so I was like, "Maybe I'll leave them out of the video." So we'll let that. Nice. Just saw 717. Oh! I put it in my thing. I brought this because I thought I was gonna need it, but Palo Santo. I love the smell of Palo Santo. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let me get this started now. Honestly, you don't have to stay for the whole video. This video, we're gonna be chilling. Like, just straight up, we're gonna be chilling. So, you can stay for the whole thing, or you can come in and out, or do whatever you want to do, gotta do, or feeling. So, yeah. So, basically, why I wanted to put this together today, or in general, was in case January is a weird time. It's right after the holidays. We don't have a lot going on usually, and it's slow. And it's really, even though it is a new year, for like our calendar, it's still astrologically winter. So it's a great time for reflection. It's a great time for really preparing for the springtime, getting things sorted, setting the intentions, really figuring out like where do I want to go from here, like what themes came up this past year, what do I feel like I've worked through, and what do I feel like these things that I've worked through is kind of gearing me or like preparing me for. There we go. That's a better way to put it. So So yeah, and what else? I'm gonna try to make this one about an hour and a half, so we will see. Like I said, we're just chilling. I don't really know how long it's gonna go. So yeah. And okay, so first, this is called year one because we're gonna end talking about year one and begin talking about year nine, and we're gonna do journal prompts in between. If you can't keep up with the journal prompts, I did write them the other day in the old video, so I do have them written. I may not go through them as slowly as I did in that video, and honestly made that video private because nobody could hear anything. But if you can't keep up, that's okay because I posted them on my status. I think I posted them on the second to last status that I posted. So I don't know if some of you have prepared or not, but it's okay if not. They'll be up there if you need to go back to any of them. So, year 9, there was definitely a lot of themes to reflect on. Because it's a year 9. That's really the 9 is the end of our 9-year cycle. And I think collectively, a lot of things that I'm gonna speak from my own experience, but I also feel like for a lot of us, because it was a collective year 9, like there were things that came up this year that, like, honestly, I haven't even ever fully analyzed or felt into or even thought about for years, like, especially around relationships, like, at some point during the year, I think I posted something about, like, this 20-year wound I just released around relationships that, like, obviously, I think it stemmed from past lives, but like, it came up very early on in my experience in this lifetime as, like, 8 years old, this boy that I used to like, and how kinda, like, our dynamic kinda planted the seed on, like, certain things I would have to, like, let go of and come to peace with. Also, did I mention this already? But with my dad, sorry guys, I'm kind of all over the place sometimes because of my ADHD, but yeah, like, there were things about my dad that came up this year, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, in relation to my dad, like, I was very angry at him for a long time, and maybe in ways I still am, but I feel like I've come more to, like, a forgiveness this year in the sense of, like, I'm not making excuses for your behavior, I'm not condoning your behavior, like, I don't want you in my life. I mean, at least at this point, because you don't know how to love me properly, but I'm not like I don't wake up every day like, "Oh, my dad ain't shit." Like, it's not even that. It's just like he doesn't show up for me in the ways that I feel a father should show up for his children. And especially now that, like, I've entered my Saturn return and, like, I don't necessarily think I want kids of my own, but if I had them, like, I can understand why at this age now I'm starting to think about these things, because it's important. It's important so we don't repeat the cycle. It's important for our own peace of mind. It's important to lay a lot of relationship patterns to rest. There was a lot that came up around one of both of my siblings, actually. I have 3 siblings and came up around, like, this my sisters. One of my sisters I don't speak to, some of you may know that, and one of my sisters I actually reconnected with this year, and I feel very grateful and blessed to have been able to have that opportunity because family is important to me even if I come from a not so functional one. So those were some things that came up for me. You guys might have noticed, like, similar things. Also, money. You might have noticed yourself, like, ready to, like, quit the career, like, path that you've been on for, like, ever, or, like, just so unsatisfied with, like, work, maybe even, like, the way you've been doing things, or, like, finances, or just, like, maybe you've been thinking about starting a business now or wanting to go on your own or even just professionally, like, doing something you've never done before. Um, and I do wanna say, circling back to, like, relationships, this cycle I would say this cycle started for me when I was about yeah, like, I mean, because it's a 9-year cycle, so 19, 20 years old, and these themes did come up romantically a little bit. There were a couple people popping in and out that made me realize, like, how I've been handling things, and it highlighted places where you needed to tighten, and I mean this for me too, like, you needed to tighten boundaries with yourself, the people closest to you, maybe people from old versions of you. Like I said, some of these people that I said romantically were popping back up were people that I knew back then, like, when the cycle first started or was about to start 9 or 10 years ago, to see if you've really integrated these lessons, and kind of, like, give you a sense of, like, where you're at in your healing journey. So, I think the way that this was set up was kinda like I put the journal prompts and you'll see everything's kinda, like, connected. So, it'll touch upon things that yo, I swear to God, if I'm recording all this and the sound ain't sounding, my friend was like, "Send me a link." Actually, before I get into all that, before I go any further, my friend told me to send her the link so she can make sure that this is working because I really want you guys to have this video. I really do. Okay. How do I do that? Hang on. Let me tell her. Sorry guys, give me one sec. This is my friend that, like, she's such a good friend, but sometimes we're so unserious together. She always, like, makes me laugh, so I'm, like, trying to be normal. Okay. Okay, we'll see. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. Okay. By the way, before I get started with the journal prompts, we'll just go through, like, numerology real quick, how to calculate a universal year. I already did it the other day, so I'll just show you guys. Okay. 2025. So what you do is you break down, obviously, you break down the year, and then you add each individual number together until you get one number. If you get, say you get a double digit number, you would further simplify that and add those two together. So that way, I can't do this on camera. Okay. So that way you have one singular number. So for master numbers like 11, 22, 33, I think there might even be one for 44. You could take them as like their master number meanings, or you could simplify them again. It just depends what you want to do and what you feel like you resonate more with. So if you're ever wondering how to calculate a universal year, that's how you do it. For your personal year, which we're not really going to touch on too much here, but for your personal year, you would take, let me see, I'll do this real quick. So my date of birth is 3/23/97. Oh my God, don't tell me this pen doesn't work. Okay, cool. 3/23/97. So now that we'll get into that later. Okay, you'll take your date of birth and then you add the month number, the day number, and then this year number to find out what personal year it is for you now. If you want to figure out your life path number, you use your actual date of birth. So, okay. And I think I know mine already, but I'll just, for shits and giggles, I'll do it. Okay, so 5, 8, 9, 18, 27, 34. Ain't no way. Hang on. Give me 1 second. 5 and 3 is 8. 8. Oh, it's duh. Because I didn't do this year. Sorry, guys. I did my original birth date. But yeah, I'm a life path 7 anyway. Not that that's not what we're talking about. Okay. Okay. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. So for 2025, it's my personal year 8. For 2026, it's my personal year 9. Okay, I don't know why that was so hard. Sorry, guys. I'm rusty. Anyway, so yeah, that's how you would calculate it. If I confused you, I'm sorry. We'll do it again. Hi, Marissa. Can you hear me? Let me see if she texted me. Okay, great. All right, now we'll do the journal prompts. And like I said, if you need them, you can go and find them on my post. It's the second to last post that I put up on YouTube. So that way, if you miss anything, it's there. And like I said, these questions will really touch on themes that we're going to see in the Universal Year 9 um this year and well last year, and then in the Universal Year 1, which is now this year. Okay, so what am I proud of myself surviving, learning, or choosing in 2025? So if you guys want to write it, or even if you want to share, I don't mind if you share in the comments. I'm sure once this uploads, like, we'll have more interactions, but so for what I wrote the other night was walking by faith, not by sight. And for me, this was like a huge year, like, to let go of kind of working like normie jobs in the sense of like working for other people. Like this was a year I really took that like final leap of faith and was like, "Oh my god, I was so scared like to do it." But I finally just went all in on my businesses, and like I'll tell you what, guys, like I was so depressed. So depressed. Like, and now I'm like I'm happy, bro. Like I'm so happy. Like I feel like I've met people that align with me much better, like people that just get me, are on the same wavelength more. Like it's just sometimes like the biggest blockage that you have is that you're still in a place where you know you shouldn't be anymore, truthfully. Okay. So yeah. So that's what I mean by that. And then number 2, what patterns, habits, or relationships am I no longer willing to carry into 2026? For me, I didn't write anything, but for me, a big one is like procrastination. Um, and getting better at like speaking up on things in the moment instead of letting it fester, because like sometimes I don't know if it's like a neurodivergent thing or what, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't clock to me like certain things that people say or do, and like so a lot of it's not even intentional, I think sometimes, but it's like when I think the harder thing of setting boundaries is like in the moment I think it's easier because you don't have any apprehension behind it. But if you like wait, then it's like that for me is like that's how I get all bent out of shape, is like the apprehension of things is what actually gives me like major anxiety, and I'm not sure why, but that's okay. Maybe it's like in a past life. So I'm gonna write procrastination. Also, like when I say procrastination, a lot of that is like on the gym, but some of it is also with like things I have to get done. And truthfully, when it comes to my businesses, I've actually been much better about that. I don't know if there's like certain transits that are helping. It could also be like my Saturn return, so that Capricorn energy, even if it like even if it does put us in our place in certain ways, if you work with the Saturn energy, it can help you really get things done. Especially if you're not if you're not good at it yourself. Um okay, procrastination, addressing things in the moment. Not prioritizing. I can hear one of the dogs snoring. Where did I abandon myself this year, and what did it teach me about my needs? Okay, so where's the water? I brought water in here. Did I not? Damn, maybe I left it on the counter. That's okay. Um, where did I abandon myself this year, and what did it teach me about my needs? And by the way, like, please share in the comments if you guys have any stories you want to share, because I love hearing them. Um, and I love connecting. Let's see. Where did I abandon myself this year? And what did it teach me? Not speaking up right away. I think not speaking up right away, or just not speaking up in general. And then also staying too long in situations that I knew weren't serving me. That was more towards the beginning of 2025, but and what did it teach me about my needs? You can't ignore them because it's just gonna get louder and louder. Also, another one, like, like I, whatever the outcome is in certain situations, let me write this. Or in a certain situation, like, I deserve to have my needs met. I deserve to take up space. And there was a lot going on around the 4th house for me this year, which is, like, the family or the roots. Hang on. Let me finish that thought. I deserve to take up space. Um, and truthfully, it was there was a lot of themes about that, I think, because growing up, I never felt like I could speak up. I felt like I was gaslit a lot if I spoke up. I felt like because I had like I was kind of like a parentified child, and I felt like I had to grow up too fast, and there were a lot of like emotionally immature adults around me. So I felt like asking for my needs was like, if I do this, it's just gonna start a fight. If I do this, um, it's like there's no point. Like if I do this, like I just have to like suffer in silence until it's over, you know? Like yeah. And no. And I'm seeing like this title is very like I'm very drawn to this. It says Pop Goes the Weasel. So like she came out this year. Well last year towards the end of or I'm still working on that, but what version of me is ready to be laid to rest tonight? Remember, this was supposed to be on December 31st, so some of these questions might be very central to like 2025, but as we go further into them, like I said, it's all connected. Also like nines and ones because with every ending there's a beginning, and with every beginning there has to be an ending. So the energies do go hand in hand. There is a crossover. within the energetic confines of the I don't wanna say the word confines, but that's kinda where my I don't know how they wanted me to word it, so what version of me is ready to be laid to rest tonight? I would say I think, like, just to keep encouraging or I guess the version of myself that, like, kept the peace for the sake of, like, my peace. Or, not okay, this is a good one. Not there were also things of, like, not preparing to set myself up for success in the way of, like, sometimes I struggle with, like, sleep. And I notice when I do sleep earlier, even though it's hard because I'm a night owl and I always have been naturally that way. But when I do get to I do okay, this is kind of like building on each other. When I don't eat sugar or eat food too late, and then when I go to bed around 10 o'clock and I wake up early in the morning, like I feel like I have much more energy. I'm much more productive. It's not as hard for me to wake up at like 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Let's see. I'm writing along too. What was the other thing I said? Oh, yeah. Not setting myself up for success. Affirm. I honor who I was and I release what no longer serves me. Reclaiming power, self truth. When do I feel most like myself? Unfiltered, unperforming, at peace. So, this is the first question. Sorry for this section. Unfiltered, unperforming, at peace. I think, like, when I'm with my friends, usually when I'm with my friends or like when I'm chilling in my room and like when like you everything just went well that day, like you did everything you had to do that day, like cleaned the house top to bottom, had an everything shower, lit a candle, legs are shaved and moisturized, like fresh sheets, like um I don't want to say like when everything goes right, but just like because for me, I guess that's like not performing, but like or like that is kind of performing, depending on how you look at it. When I feel unfiltered, unperforming, like honestly, with my friends or like when I'm doing pick a cards, I love doing that. I love doing pick a cards. Doing pick a cards. Okay. What boundaries? Question number 2. What boundaries strengthened me in 2025? And where do I need ones in 2026? Oh, okay. I put a quote for this one when I was writing them down the other day. Maybe I'll elaborate. It says prices. Oh, sorry guys. Prices are a boundary that honors your energy. Confirmation. Prices are a boundary that honors your energy. This year, with both of my businesses, and I'm still tweaking certain things because this was the first year that I was really like all in. at least for a good part of it. A big boundary that strengthened me in 2025 was raising my prices and understanding that I'm not going to be for everybody and not everybody's going to be for me, and that's okay. Like, all it sometimes in the moment, in certain circumstances, it might feel personal, but it never is. Like, it really never is. Um, and also, like, that, like, prices, you know, uh, for certain things, like charging what I charge for my readings, we'll go there. For me, it was like I used to do markets and I used to only do $50 readings as a way to give back. But then I really was sitting and thinking because it was taking so much of my energy and I just felt like the people that were I was being attracted to, I've only ever had one client like come back and pay full price. And it wasn't that like the other people didn't like believe in me. I just don't think that they valued or like could see the value in what I did, and that's okay, like, everybody's at a different point in their journey, but I would love to align, and I have been ever since I've taken that step. I've been aligning with a lot of people that really value the work that I do, and really, like, respect me and are not, like, don't just come to me and are like, "Yeah, like, I'm just waiting for you to prove me wrong," or, "I'm just waiting for you to show me that this is, like, nonsense," or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very fortunate that, like, I've gotten a lot of incredible people before me. And I also feel like something to point out, like, if you do have a business or you are doing some kind of service, like, sometimes you might think that, like, your prices are too high and that's why people aren't booking, but sometimes they're too low and you're being protected from spirit. Because if it's an unfair exchange, like, you're gonna get depleted. So, something to keep in mind for everybody. Where do I need stronger ones in 2026? I'm working on it. Sorry, I just got a whiff of, like, barbecue. Um, Stronger ones in 2026. I think a lot of it is, like, with myself. For now, I need to be and I've actually all morning I've been working on my budget. It's not finished yet, but hopefully by the end of tonight or tomorrow, afternoon, it will be done. Really, like, sticking to a budget, sticking to, like, my meal prep when I have to work, not eating out even out of convenience, like, preparing this is the big thing, preparing myself, sticking to that boundary of we're doing this because in the long run, like, we're helping ourselves get to the next thing. Let's see, setting myself up for success. Speaking up. I'm better at speaking up. I've been getting better about it. Um, like I said, sometimes like it's just more the apprehension that gives me anxiety. When am I done explaining, justifying, or shrinking for my needs? What does self-trust what does self-trust look like? This is question number 4. What does self-trust look like for me in real everyday choices? This was one oh, I had such a good like analysis of this the other day, but I think really even if you are like like, you gotta trust your gut on things, like, even if you're like, everybody around you is telling you, like, "I don't think that's a good idea." Obviously, like, if you have a history of reckless behavior and it doesn't work out, maybe listen to the people that you know have your best interests at heart. I'm talking about, like, trusting your intuition even when you can't see the floor in front of you, even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, even with even when, like, you can't see the bigger picture yet. And also, like, hang on. I'm gonna say this, trusting your intuition even when you can't. You guys don't have to write what I'm saying, by the way, like, this is just for me. I'm just going over mine while you write yours so we can hang out. Trusting your intuition even when you can't. I don't know, can't see the staircase in front of you. I feel like my ancestors are here, like, I'm feeling like I wanna party, and I'm like, "Bitch, I'm an introvert, I'm not going out." I also am busy. I can't. I never really do because 'cause I'm so busy all the time, and, like, I really can't be under the influence because I'm busy. Shit. Okay. What else was it? Oh my god, guys, I had a good point, this about the self-trust. Oh, this was the other thing I wanted to say, like, if you know you've done a certain amount of healing where, like, the old version of you will use myself as a teachable moment. Um, I used to go for men that were, like, not good for me, not good for me. Um, just had we'll use Lexi the Leo's reference. She always says broken birds, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it." So, I used to, like, attract a lot of broken birds, and because I used to have, like, this complex of, like, I wanna love him so he knows what it's like to be loved, a lot of men that don't have, like, their moms. A lot, like, I don't know what it was, but I at one point in my life, any man that showed interest in me, I was like, "He doesn't have his mom, does he?" And I would find out, "Nope, he doesn't." And, like, it's fine if you don't have your mom, like, I'm not saying I'll never date somebody that doesn't have their mom. It's just it was a recurring thing, and I was like, "Yeah, this is a pattern." So, I was, like, drawing in a lot of people like that, like I think because I am very nurturing in a relationship and I am very loyal and, um but it's like I wasn't at that moment in my life, I wasn't using, like, discernment to, like I wasn't asking, "Are these people good for me?" I was just like, "Why don't they like me?" or "Why do they treat me like this?" It's because they didn't know any better, and it's not an excuse and it doesn't make it right, but I just was like I just never thought about, like, myself, but I was, like, self-sacrificing, that's what I'm trying to get at. Um, so, like, when you know that, like at least for me, when I started to see the types of people that I would attract start to shift, um, excuse me, like, it could be something as simple of, okay, back then, if I rejected one of those men, they would, like oh my god, they would just, like, either lose it on me or, like, just I don't know, like, not handle it well, we'll say that. And now it's like, moving forward, if someone's not right for me, like, I open up in the hopes that, like, they'll receive it well, and I never try to be, like, unkind either, because, like I said, nothing's really personal. Um, and, like, all like, lately, I've been met with men who are very respectful of my feelings, of, like, my wishes, of, like, my thoughts on things, just respectful of me, and I'm just like, "This is great." Like This is great. This is healing, definitely. So, I think once you see also friends, we could even say friends. Like, I used to be like, just it was just karmic, like just a bunch of shit. Like I used to have such a hard time finding good friends, attracting the right friends. Like it was like a lot of it was just a lot of like misaligned people. We'll say that. I don't really want to get too much into that, but now my friends are great. Like we we just roast each other, but we hang out all the time. We cook for each other. Like, we have a group chat and we be group chatting. We tell each other the tea. Like, and these are people that actually, like, I don't have to convince them to be my friend, or they're not out here doing all this crazy shit, like putting me in like bad positions because of their bad decisions. We'll just say that. So yeah. Calling in 2026. This is, I believe, our last. Oh no, it's not our last section. Okay. So this is our intention for this year for 2026. How do I want to feel in my body, my relationships and my work? For me, I just want to be at peace. Like I want to feel at peace. I want to feel good. I want to feel confident. Um Confident, safe. That's an important one. Safe, vulnerable, but like in a safe way. Relaxed. Like just very like well prepared. Yo, I'm telling you guys, like this Capricorn energy is Capricorning. Like I'm just like, yeah, prepared. I love Capricorns. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I love Capricorn. Earth signs, especially earth sign men. Chef's kiss. Anyway, what what values will guide my decisions this year? Choose 3 to 5 words. Oh, I already did this one. Practicality, authenticity, communication from a heart-centered place. That's more than 5 words, but it's okay. Question number 3. What would it look like to choose myself consistently even when it's uncomfortable? A lot of this is redundant. Gym, speaking up as soon as something happens, sticking to a bedtime slash wake up time. Mhm. Mhm. What kind of love, support, or connection am I available for now? Just like emotionally available. Um, Emotionally available. Um, for like, and just like also like fun. What else? But also like supportive. For love. For love. I love love, guys. I'm a Libra moon. And like honestly, I just love love. And like I be daydreaming about it. I just like want someone that's like, yeah, like emotionally available, vulnerable. They take care of themselves. They're just willing to like be an adult and talk things out. But like, yeah. But also somebody who understands like I be needing my space sometimes. and, like, just someone cool. I don't know. I don't wanna tell you guys all my secrets, so I won't. Not yet. Future self dialogue. That's the name of this section. Okay. Write a message from your December 31st, 2025, or I guess today is January 3rd, 2026. But either way, wherever you're at, what does she thank you for? Or if you're a he, what does he thank you for? Or if you don't know what you are, or if you're everything, like, I don't know. Like, whatever resonates with you. What do they thank you for? I just don't want anyone to feel excluded. Um, I think the biggest thing I think I really thank myself for not giving up. Um, and not I wanna be clear, like, and, like, I'm gonna issue a trigger warning just because of what I'm about to mention. Like, I've never been, like, suicidal or anything. Um, that really wasn't it, but I've gone through, like, dark night of the souls and, like, depression where it's like, there were times, like, honestly, that, like, I was either heartbroken or, like, things in life were just not going right, and, like, truthfully, like, I didn't wanna wake up in the morning. I didn't wanna keep doing this because I was just like, "Is life always gonna be like this? Because if it is, like, I just don't wanna keep doing this." I'll be very real about that. Like I said, it was never, like, suicidal. It was just, like, honestly, I just felt, like, mentally checked out of life. Um, maybe dissociated, I don't know. And, like, I'm just really grateful that, like, I have the stamina that I have and that the openness too, for staying open, for allowing myself to hurt and then heal, and for still loving as hard as I do. Stop, I'm not gonna cry. Let's see. Okay. What did she stop tolerating that changed everything? Constant self-sacrifice. Or, like, letting people tell me how I have to how I should do things. Oh, shit. Not everything that works for everybody else is gonna work for you. What risk was worth it? Leaving my job, hanging out with new friends, telling people how I really felt. Having a YouTube. I just saw 555. Okay. Okay, okay. Integration. This kind of takes us into like year one. What is one gentle commitment I can make to myself starting January 1st? Oh, you know what? It's good that we're actually doing this right now because it's a full moon today. Happy full moon, guys. We're releasing. This is a good way to release on the full moon. What is one gentle commitment that I can make to myself starting January 1st? Don't overthink it. Just start, but do it. Get it done. Start, get it done. Get it done even if you have to do it in steps. I know there's been a big theme of this too this year, but rest is just important as productivity. Like I feel like sometimes like productivity is rest. Like sometimes I'll be like going and going. I can feel myself getting burnt out, and then you finally get to that point of like, okay, like I know I need to stop. Even when it's like everything around me feels so up in the air, I feel like I'm juggling 50 million things. I'm like, oh my God, I have to work today because this is not. Sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe don't do like this many hours, do a few hours, and then you can call it and go home and rest. Or okay, if you had to work today or you had to get work done today, if you really need the rest, fine, but make sure you rest and make sure you're productive in a way that's not like productive in a way that pours back into you. Because I still do certain things like to make ends meet outside of like my businesses at the moment to supplement, and those things can be very draining because I'm just like, blah, But then like if I go home and I'm like, okay, well, then if you're gonna be home, like straighten up your bathroom or straighten up your room if you're gonna stay home, like get some laundry done, like something like that that it's like, okay, I can do that. Like that's okay. I can get that done. Or we can just put rest is productivity when faced with burnout. What reminder do I want to Oh wait, we could do honor your seasons, honor your cycles. That kind of goes hand in hand with the rest and productivity thing. Honor your cycles, honor your seasons. What reminder do I Oh, sometimes doing things that you don't really wanna do, like, in terms of, like or sometimes doing things that are easy to push to the side, like, for example, going to the gym, going to the doctor, like, those are self-care things. Like, sometimes pushing ourselves to do the things we've been putting off, that's, like that's a commitment I want. Do things you've been putting off. And like, I'm trying because okay, one thing, if you're, like, neurodivergent, it's very easy to get overstimulated by, like, tasks. So you could have like one task and it would take like 10 minutes. Like let's just say, okay, hanging up shelves. If you actually like came up with like a strategy, planned it out and was like, okay, like I'm gonna do this, like knock it out, it would take you 10 minutes, right? No. Like when you have neurodivergence or ADHD, like you'll put something off because it's like for some reason, like just the idea of something, not even the actual thing itself. It's just so weird. I don't know if there's a proper term for it. There probably is. But like you'll just get so like overwhelmed and just like kind of like shove it in the back of your brain and like shut down that part of your brain about it and just be like, "Well, I'll do it later." Like and it's like and then you finally do it and you're like, "I've been putting that off for 6 months." Like that was it. Like, so always keeping that in mind when I have like tasks like that, that's something. Um, okay, question number 2. What reminder do I want to return to when I feel lost or discouraged in 2026? So one of the things on here I did make a video about what is it called? Shit, I don't remember it. Let me see what the name of it was. I'll tell you guys right now, but it okay, so I wrote the other day, "It's temporary, you got this. What would you tell your daughter to do?" If you guys saw the video, you'll know that oh, that's what it was called. It's called "The Only Question You'll Ever Need for Clarity." I think I got 9 views on it, which is okay. But I'm telling you guys, like, this is the one question I always ask myself when I'm like, I don't know what the to do. And you ask yourself that because I mean, in my head, like, the one person I would always want to, like, inform and guide even better than myself would be my daughter, right? Or my son. Maybe I feel a little bit more like I have more of I don't know. Like, I just feel, like, very, like about having a daughter maybe because, like, I feel like I didn't have the mother I needed, like, that's a very, like sensitive topic for me, so like that's something that would be very sacred, I think, and, something I don't take lightly, so I'm always like, "What would you tell your daughter to do?" And, like, for example, in the video, it touches more upon this, but I for all of my hardest questions in my life, that's what I ask myself, and sometimes the answer is hard to hear because it's not always the easy way out, like, sometimes it's like sometimes it's like, "Leave that job." Like, when I was miserable at my old job, I was like, "What would you tell your daughter to do?" And I knew. I was like I would be like, "Quit your fucking job. I got you, bro." And I'm like, "Well, then why can't I do that for myself?" You know? So and I do got me. And I'm very proud of myself for that because there were times when it's, like, easy to get into, like, the self-doubt, especially when things weren't going well for a while. Sometimes it's just karma we're burning off, bro. Um, yeah, but that's, like, a good example or, anything in relationships, anything, like, that question, I'm telling you, that question works so well. Affirmation, I enter 2026 rooted, resourced, and open to aligned change. So we have reached the end of our journal section. And now, what else do we get? Let me see. Hosting. Um, Hmm. So I think what I'm gonna do I think what I'm gonna do, this is something I didn't do in the last one. There isn't really anybody watching, but I am gonna upload this later for those of you that want to do it and to hear about it. Oh wait, how could I forget our craft? Okay. We're gonna talk about the craft and then I'll get into some cards. Like I'll do some collective messages before we close up. But so if you saw the flyer that I posted, I mentioned if you want, you don't have to do this, but I thought this was such a great idea that I saw last year. And it was get a jar. I recommended Dollar Tree has literally all of these ingredients, all of these materials. And I bought this jar at Dollar Tree. And in their craft section, I bought these tags. I have more cotton twine at home and I have to make the string bigger to tie around, and it says all good things in 2026. And what you're going to do, and I also bought the post-it notes there. So, and a pen. You can also use like if you thrift a big mason jar. I honestly really wanted that, but I just couldn't find one in time, so I'm doing this for now. And or a recycled pasta jar, like if you're penny pinching, do what you got to do. Pour that sauce in a Tupperware, wash that shit out, dry it, and you're good to go. And so what you're going to do once a week during 2026, if you want to do it every day, hell, do it every day. You're going to write down one good thing that happened to you today. You're going to put the date and the time. And I wrote one on December 31st during the other video. I wrote my first YouTube live. I got 1 like and I showed up, even not perfect, even with life busy, and most important, I had a great time. And I did. I did have a great time, and I'm grateful that I did it. I'm proud of myself. And so yeah, so another recommendation I have for that also that I've thought about, maybe you can write on one half of the post-it, obviously date and time, one thing you've been struggling with, and then on the second half, date and time when and how it ended up getting resolved. So at the end of 2026, like New Year's Eve or a couple days before New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, you take out all of your post-its and you read through them. And you just see like how many great things actually happen to you. Because I know sometimes during things in life, like life gets busy or things can get heavy, things happen beyond our control. And it's nice to have something tangible aside from like a journal. And this is just really cute. It's nice to have something um to even look forward to, like a sense of like ritual as well in that. So to all my witches. But anyway, so you can do that, and also I recommend it if you want. I kept it simple for now. I may end up like at some point doing my jar, like decorating it. What I think I'm gonna do personally, I'm making vision boards with my friends next week or this week coming up. So I think I'm gonna just take my vision board and cut and paste everything like onto this jar. So it's on my jar. Um, but yeah. So I thought that was really great to share with you guys, so that's why I, like, encouraged it, but you obviously do whatever you wanna do or gotta do, and if even if you don't see this, when I'm posting it, you can do this at any point. I think it's a really also great idea to do something like this always because it's a great way to practice gratitude and, by extension, help us with manifestation. Yeah, and what else? Oh yeah, so I'm gonna pull a couple cards, see maybe what spirit has to say, a little collective message about 2026. Whew. This is my Florida water. I make it in small batches. Okay. We'll do a little shuffle. Sorry, guys. Okay, Spirit. Any messages for the collective, whoever ends up watching this? This will be a timeless message too, so if you see this like 5 years from now, it'll apply to where you're at. Ace of Wands. Maybe I'll do one. Maybe I'll do 4 cards, so one for every. I think they just gave me. Yeah, they just gave me another 3. One for every quarter. One on the timer. Okay. So we have Ace of Wands for the first quarter. And also there's a message but hang on. 10 of Wands for the second quarter. The Star reversed for the third quarter. And the King of, not the King, the Knight of Swords for the last quarter. And at the back of the deck, we have Ace of Swords reversed. Six of Cups. Okay. Okay, I think right now you're really being encouraged with the wands to take action, but I think it's more so in the way of like what I talked about in the beginning, like setting the foundations. It really is going hand in hand. Setting foundations for the upcoming year, for that springtime energy to come in and like really whisk you on that wave into this new year. And using that energy that's coming to like set those foundations, but also understanding like I want to say don't overwhelm yourself. Pick like I don't know, 2, 3 things that this year, bigger things that you're like, okay, this is where I want to be at the end of 2026 in regards to A, B, and C. Okay, we'll say 3 things. Whatever. You choose. Excuse me. And in this, like the second quarter, it's going to be like you got a lot going on. You've got a lot going on because I feel like, you've really started to set things in motion. Towards the third quarter, the star is reversed, but I'm still taking it as a star where like, or it might be like the power's in your hands to shift it. If there's something that feels stagnant, if there's something that you're feeling like I planted all these seeds, why isn't this moving forward? Like, or why isn't this moving forward as quickly as I had hoped? Like, um it's really like you realizing like, okay, I'm the one that controls like where this goes. You know what I mean? And really truthfully getting out of your head and really getting like I want to say into your heart, like kind of just like going for certain things, even if you are like overwhelmed or you feel like maybe I don't have the time. Like I feel like for relationships it might be like I don't know if I have the time for this, like, I don't you know what I mean? Like, there might be relationships that come in that are, like, very promising, but you're like, "I don't know if I can afford to, like, put these things down right now." But just, like, honestly trusting and honoring, like, it could be in relation to things like that too, that, like, it's gonna work out. You might need to, like, kinda light a fire under your ass for certain things, but also, like, kind of give spirit the wheel sometimes, like, you don't have to do everything all the time, but there are like I said, in the 2nd quarter of this year, you are gonna have a lot going on, maybe a lot on your shoulders, a lot on your plate, but I think there's also somebody coming in that wants to, like, share that with you, somebody that really, like, speaks to your inner child. And, like, makes you realize, like, you don't have to do it all by yourself. Could be, like, a business partner, could be, that you get an opportunity for, like, some kind of, like, help or, like, a promotion or, like, a huge raise or, like, a different job with, like, way better pay. So many things, um but because it is a year one this is Ace of Wands, like, I associate this card very heavily with the Magician card. They're not the same, but the energy, the vibes are similar. Like, the Ace of Wands is like, you have the power to have whatever you want. You have the power to, like, manifest this. You already are manifesting it. You're just at the very beginning of this. Um I do feel like towards the end of the year, this Knight of Swords is kind of it is coming through as like, yes, maybe you might have to put some work in, but I think more so this is about the opportunity I mentioned, some kind of opportunity, like something written, because this is like air energy. So it could be something written, something maybe a contract is being signed for something. It could be around marriage, could be a deal, could be if you're like an artist or a musician, maybe getting like a record deal or some kind of like team or contract. Um, so yeah, but I want to pull. I have these. I'll take a couple off these too. And then I'm also gonna pull some ruins. Not ruins, runes. Sorry. Sorry. All right. A couple more messages for the collective in 2026. Should I pull one for each? We have, yeah, this is cool. Gemini, I think, or actually, that one's at the end. Leo, I will. 11th house friends. You might have like a Scorpio rising. This energy is giving me like the vibes of kind of like what the Scorpio risings are going to be going through in 2026. A lot about like empowerment and maybe blockages around that, like kind of clearing those. And kind of like getting your shit together when it comes to like finances, when it comes to how you do things, when it comes to like structures. But also really having that unwavering faith in yourself and knowing that like everything's gonna work out. Even like we have 11th house friends could be coming into union with like soul tribe members this year. Also Gemini, which also is usually the lovers. There's an emphasis on like six energy because that six of cups came out, and that's also like I think the lovers might be the five card. It might be six in the tarot. I don't remember off the top of my head, but fourth house roots, and we have this in the reverse. So I do feel like it's like, didn't I mention this before? Like really coming to terms with like a lot of the things that were put upon us in childhood and like moving through those and, like, laying them to rest so that way, if you are in your Saturn return, even if you're not, like, these things are not holding you back anymore, and, like, all these plans that you have, all these things that you're embarking on, like, you don't get in your own way. Let's put it that way, and also learning how to speak up, and feeling empowered in that. I did wanna say this too at the beginning, and I didn't not cause I don't know, but there's a big thing in this collective right now for, like, speaking your truth, like clearing blockages around speaking up, clearing throat chakra blockages, speaking your truth, speaking up, showing up in your power, um, in your authenticity, using your voice. Could also be gifts that you have, expressing yourself unapologetically. And then we'll pull some ruins, and then that'll be that, kids. All right, let's see. Spirit, anything else for the collective for 2026? I'll have a bigger pick a card out probably around springtime for you guys on this topic, but so it's a little more personal. Interconnectedness of past, present, and future. Oof. Yeah, like remember when I mentioned before, like the year 9 and the year 1, the energetic confines of them overlap. Transportation may represent a horse, car, plane, boat, or other vehicle movement and change for the better. So you might be moving this year. You might be getting a new car this year. You might be going on a trip that you don't even know about yet. You might meet somebody through this trip that you're always destined to meet. Um, Delays, and this is kind of like delays, restriction, resistance leading to strength, innovation, need, fire, self-reliance, distrust, confusion, conflict, and the power of will to overcome them. This came out in the reversed, but I do think because it was like up, I turned it upright, protection, a shield, the protective urge to shelter oneself or others, defense, warding off evil, shield, guardian, connection with the gods, awakening higher life. You are protected through this time. There might be times when you feel like blockages or like delays are popping up, but um it has to do with the endings that are happening because of this beginning. If you have a different personal year, but it's still your universal year 1, this energy is gonna bring that. If you're like me and it's your personal year 9, which mine hasn't officially started yet, but it's your personal year 9, you're gonna experience a lot, like, of the energy we experienced in our universal year 9, so themes similar to that, old people from the past, laying things to rest, deciding, like, who and what can come with you, letting go of things that no longer serve you, habits, jobs, relationships, things that you know you've outgrown, like deciding like who you want to be moving forward and like taking the necessary steps to embark on that journey for yourself. And really like even though yes there might be the delays, restrictions, um you need to be more like self-reliant. Like it's good because it's like you no longer you may if you experience, like, coddling from even just the universe, like, even if you've had a hard life, like, sometimes we get, like, gifts given to us, to help us out. Like, dude, I don't know, like, I'm gonna tell you guys this because I keep thinking about this lately, like, I guess the way the Matrix is set up is like the Hunger Games. I felt this way since I was 15 years old and I saw that movie in theaters when it first came out. But The Hunger Games is significant. That movie is also coming out. I'm not affiliated in any way, by the way. Like, it's just significant. Maybe there's even a message in the new one. So, but either way, it's like learning really I want to say the heights of your toughness, the heights of your toughness, and like how far you're willing to go to create your dream life. But this is also pushing you in good ways. And if you're working with this energy, if you're making friends with it, it'll give you the boost up that you need. If you're if you're resisting it because you're afraid or because, like, I mean, yeah, afraid of change or, like, you just don't feel like you want better, like, that's when you're gonna have a harder time. So keep that in mind, and also, this is just strengthening you for the next chapter, like, the universe is not punishing you, it's really helping you, you know, become the individual that you want to really call in all the things you've been trying to manifest probably for a long time, to really bring in, like, those divine gifts, whether it's, like, a soul partner or the career that you want or, like, all these different things, like, big, really big things. Sometimes we don't realize when we're asking for something big like that, there's a lot of moving parts in it. So, from a higher perspective, you might be seeing eagles a lot lately. I have, definitely. But from a higher perspective, it's like you're over here, like, going through certain things, and it might be like a pain in the moment, but long term, it's like building you up to, like, be like in a, like, whether it's like, okay, for example, having hard conversations, it's strengthening your boundaries so you can have healthy relationships or so you can be like somebody highly respected in business because you don't take any shit. Like, this is just examples, but, like, things like that, like, there's always a reason even if we can't see it yet. And I think there's also a lot of clarity coming, but some of that clarity is going to come with us moving forward and doing what we need to do and moving through. And if you are facing resistance, it just might not be time yet in certain ways. So remember that this is a timeless message, but if you're seeing it when I'm posting it, obviously it's meant for you then, but this is really all I got. Let me see. Anything else? Oh yeah, so before I go, so for year 1, this is a really good time to go over your budget. I had mentioned that before. Print out, like, if you want recommendations. I'm not a guru in this aspect by any means, but, like, print out your statement from the beginning of the year, make a plan for your expenses that you need to plan for. I literally anything I know, any big purchases coming up that I need for my businesses or myself, like car stuff, whatever, I wrote everything down and I wrote how much it is and I wrote when I need it and plan for each expense, put it next to a month. So you don't have to do it all at once and you're not like scrambling at the last second. Get organized. Um and then set boundaries with yourself around, like, if you need help, expenses are a big one. Like, finances are a big one for a lot of people right now. Um but, like, that's another way, set the boundaries with yourself, with your relationships, and with your needs and your wants in relationships. Some of that could be financial, but also in other ways. I think the more comfortable we get with showing up, and the more comfortable we get with, like, new beginnings and the vulnerability that comes alongside with that, the easier the transition, and also, like, I wanna say the bigger the blessing, but I don't know if it's like that or if it's like our ability to receive it, you know? So weird. I feel like I can hear myself, but I like really tuned in for a second and it sounded like I was like hearing myself talk through a microphone or on a phone and I'm not. And I'm like, this is weird. So that's weird and trippy. But yeah, so I love you guys. Comment down below your experiences, any things from the journal prompts that you might want to share. I love to hear your stories and I want to connect with all of you more. And also let me know if this is something that you'd be interested in, like, me doing, because a little backstory before we go, like, I used to actually do something called creative healing with this girl that I knew, oh my god, 6 years ago now in 2020. I worked at a kava bar and I met this girl there and we started doing this group. I had like guided meditations, journaling. She did like oracle cards in the back. So it was before I did any of my readings and stuff. This is before I knew. before I knew about myself. And we used to, yeah, so I used to do like the journaling, and I would also do like a quote of the day, inspiring person of the day, like reflections we could share, things like that. So, um, I don't know, like, or even like I would often like use the focal point as like themes that I felt were coming up in my own life, and like noticing the parallels in other people around me and kind of like factoring that in and like made the prompts about that, or like the topics of conversation around that. So let me know if that's something maybe you'd be interested in, if we can get something like that started this year. But I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to leave me a subscribe, hit the like button, share with your spiritual besties, and welcome to year one.